Right, are you sitting comfortably? Right. I thought it would be a good time to teach the good people of YouTube land about history. Now there's only 3 dates, tell a lie, 4 dates that you need to remember for history. 1966, England, I live in England, England beat West Germany, Bruce lives in Germany, in the Football World Cup, the most important thing that ever happened in the world, ever. 1966. 1776. Now, you'll get the hint in a minute, there's 6's in everything. 1776. England very cleverly lost an awful lot of troubles across the other side of the pond. We managed to shed ourselves by military loss and incompetence of all of those troublesome colonials. That's 1776. What's the other? 1666. The Great Fire of London. Now, a lot of you will think, what's the Great Fire of London got to do with anything? But when American tourists come to London, they all go to look at St Paul's Cathedral, designed by an architect called Christopher Wren. And of course St Paul's Cathedral wouldn't be the shape it is if it hadn't been burnt down in 1666 and rebuilt by Sir Christopher Wren. So that's 1660. What's the other date? 1066. Now, I don't remember 1066. I know some of you do, but I don't. I'm too young. But England had a few little difficulties around about then. A man called Harold was a cousin of a man called William, or Guillaume William. And William was a Norman. He lived in France, but he was a Norman. And the Normans came from the north and they occupied a chunk of France which we now call Normandy. And Harold was a Saxon. Now I guess Saxons came from Saxony, which is where Bruce lives, sort of. And Harold made the mistake of letting himself get captured by William, and William made him swear an oath that Harold would support William to be King of England. Now, there's a few problems with this. You see, William's father was a man called Rolf, or Rollo, or Ralph, depending which language you speak. And Rollo, Ralph the Viking, he had a bit of a wandering eye for the ladies, and he saw a lady cleaning some animal hides, a lady called Matilda. And when you're Duke of Normandy, and when you've got the power of life and death over people, and you've got a bit of a wandering eye for the ladies, you might take terrible advantage of that. And he did. And I think the proper phrase is he begat William. Now William was very often called, and don't say this in front of children, he was very often called William the Bastard, Guillaume le Bâtard, because his mother and father weren't married. But his mum seems to have been a bit of a character, because somehow the illegitimate William became Duke of Normandy. And, he did some pretty interesting things, killed a few people, the sort of things that dukes and feudal leaders used to do. And he took Harold prisoner, made Harold swear an oath. Now, when the King of England died, Harold, he forgot about the oath that he'd made to William. I don't suppose he forgot it, he chose to ignore it, and declared himself King of England, as you do. I get up in the morning and I think, what shall I do? I'll declare myself King of England, and you get some other people around you and you say, right, I'm King of England, okay? And they all say, yes, of course you are, well done. And you make that one a duke and that one an earl, and you give that one half of the country, and that's how it goes on. Now, William wasn't happy because he wanted to be King of England, and he assembled a fleet at a town in what is now Picardy in France, a town called Saint-Valery-sur-Somme, slightly to the east of Normandy. And his army ate all of the chickens in St. Valery. They gathered their ships together, they sailed across the English Channel, and they fought a battle, a place called Battle, near Hastings in Sussex, in 1066. And every schoolboy knows that during the battle, King Harold got an arrow in his eye and he died. And William said, I'm the king. And that's how we got King William the First. Now, if you're king and if you're fed up with everybody calling you William the Bastard, and you've just conquered England, you can change what people call you. So history remembers him as William the Conqueror. Now you might wonder what this has got to do with me. Well, probably nothing, except William the Conqueror was crowned in London, and immediately afterwards, on Christmas Day 1066, immediately afterwards he came along and he stayed at Barking Abbey. Now I go through Barking a couple of times a month, and he brought with him lots and lots of architects, church builders, castle builders, and they built castles and they built churches, including the Church of St Mary the Virgin, Benfleet. So there we are, William the Conqueror, King William the First of England.